So in this video, catalyst for Tesla's 2024 decline. Let me guess. 1. Fear. 2. Uncertainty. And 3. Doubt. Fear about collapsing demand. Fear margins might go lower. Fear the competition is coming. Uncertainty about do consumers really want electric vehicles. Uncertainty about whether or not EVs will be the primary form of propulsion a few years from now. Uncertainty about interest rates. Uncertainty about consumer demand and the overall automotive market. And doubts. Will Tesla really become the world's largest automotive manufacturer by units sold? Will they really become the world's most valuable company? Will robo-taxis really happen? Does Tesla really have an unassailable lead? I'm just kidding. I don't know why Tesla stock's down. I don't know why it's up or down or anything. It's just a collective activity of all the buying and selling participants in the market. That's the only thing that moves a stock. Anyone who tells you different is full of shit.
In the meantime, I want to spotlight those names that we love to watch, and many of you own: Apple, Tesla. They've been underperformers in 2024. What's going on? Jay Woods, Chief Global Strategist, Freedom Capital Markets, joining me right now. So, the big picture is today, S&P 500 new all-time highs. Nvidia is leading the way. Exciting Nvidia.
By the way, it's quite actually amusing to me to notice a huge shift in coverage, in sentiment, in interest. I think a lot of the fly-by-night folks and or analysts who previously jumped on the Tesla bandwagon after it did more than a 10x in the span of no time at all, as opposed to calling it ahead of time, and now have jumped wagon to Nvidia because it's done essentially the same thing. Now, I'm not hating on Nvidia. I think it's a solid company. There's going to be plenty of demand, especially for their hardware, for AI training. However, of course, the greater opportunity is not AI-related training hardware, e.g. compute, but in fact the AI applications that require the hardware. Much like it wasn't the computers powering the internet that was a big opportunity, it was the internet itself that enabled e-commerce and huge platforms. Think about the world's largest companies today in terms of market cap. How many of those are dependent on the internet, built upon the internet? So I'm not an Nvidia hater, but I'm just pointing out it's quite amusing now. Suddenly, everyone's talking Nvidia, including analysts. Everyone's buying Nvidia, including analysts and retail investors. And again, I'm not hating, I'm just saying, isn't it interesting to notice? It's almost like the same thing that happened to Tesla. I started this YouTube channel and within 12 to 24 months, Tesla had surged and suddenly it went from a name that no one was discussing to everyone was discussing to everyone owned. And now the same thing's happening with Nvidia.
Not so exciting, and we'll start with Apple. Apple, the lowest level since October. It's down over 10% this year.
Yeah, the Magnificent Seven no more.
Yeah, what happened?
We have seen a nice rotation. You lead off. We're making new highs. And what was the story all last year? What led those 7 stocks? And I'm kind of happy that we can get off that narrative. And Apple, unfortunately, it's a what have you done for me lately, that Janet Jackson mentality that people and investors have.
So thoughts and context might be useful, at least interesting, at the very least. Tesla's market cap today, about 20% that of Apple. Apple at $2.61 trillion. The stock over the last 5 years, up nearly 300%. In the last 1 year, up about 11. But the all-time chart, I think, will really sum things up. Apple stock since 1984, split adjusted 12 cents per share to 169 cents per share. Decent return for long-term hodlers. There's been plenty of ups and downs there, but just I wanted to note something. Given the accumulated growth overall in Apple's market cap, therefore the stock price, it looks, and I really do mean this, it looks, based on the scale of this chart, it looks like Apple stock went absolutely nowhere until maybe 2005 started to move. Somewhere around here, right? But what actually happened? Apple stock approximately 10x'd in that time. Since that point in time, another 100x and then some. So I just wanted to contextualize some of the comments about Apple stock not performing great and falling from all-time highs. And this, by the way, is for a company that, I'm just going to be honest, has forgotten how to innovate almost entirely. And Tim Cook's a great operator, clearly not, however, a great innovator. So Apple continues to milk what they've built over many decades prior. And I don't think there's too many long-term Apple stock hodlers who'd be disappointed. If you held Apple stock for about the last 15 years, you're up, 30 times? Not bad. Nvidia stock has a pretty similar looking chart over all time. Looks like it went absolutely nowhere for, call it the better part of 15 years. By the way, who remembers back in the day around Nvidia IPO, this was the era of the TNT. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, I might be showing my age. If you know, you know. Let me know in the comments below. This is approximately when Nvidia IPO'd. 82 US cents per share. Today, getting close to $1,000. It's not that often that you'll see a stonk chart that does that, reminiscent of Tesla's run through 2020. But more context, Nvidia's done in approximately the last 1 year what Apple did in the last 5. By the way, this would never happen if the stock market figures out something all of a sudden. Like, I don't know, let's just say hypothetically that what happened with Nvidia was the stock market figured out, oh, AI is going to be a big deal. Wait, how does AI work? Oh, you need to train AI on what? Oh, you mean Nvidia makes lots of the things that people will need to buy to train AI? Okay. Nvidia moons. Hypothetically, imagine if there was another thing that a lot of people didn't quite understand was inevitable soon and was going to print a lot of money, could be around the corner. I don't know, let's just make up imagine in a different version of the simulation, it would be possible for autonomous vehicles to exist and operate, and I wonder if that could ever happen. No, definitely not. Let's move on. Now, Tesla stock over the last 5 years, keeping in mind, Apple stock in the last 5 years up nearly 300%, Tesla up about 850%, Nvidia a mere 2,360%. So you can clearly understand, right? Herd mentality. Oh, Nvidia to the moon. Now, I'm sure plenty of people have made a lot of money on Nvidia, and full disclosure, I previously owned Nvidia stock myself. A very small portion of my stock portfolio was always about 70 plus, maybe 75% Tesla. But in the early days, especially when it wasn't a given that Tesla would survive, I scattered a little bit of my capital around a bunch of other tech plays. I did say play. I did my homework, but not deep enough compared to what I've done with Tesla. It's fun, by the way, to go and look back at the returns on those. I think maybe 1 or 2 of those still in the red if I'd held them. Everything else up 2 times, 3 times, 5 times or more. I was purchasing Nvidia around the $25 per share range, somewhere there. Of course, 2019, when Tesla stock got crushed around here, I sold all my other stonks and went 100% in Tesla. Aged pretty well. Back to the video.
Too often, and unfortunately, with Apple, with Tesla, China concerns are really becoming a headwind for them. We saw yesterday.
Oh, he said concern. So what was I talking about before? The reasons, the catalyst for Tesla being down? Fear? Is concern a fear? Yes. Uncertainty? Is concern a bit uncertain? Yes. Doubt? Yeah, look at that. The trifecta. It shows how sentiment-driven stocks are. Occasionally, they'll overlap with reality, but probably 99+% of the time, it's consensus. Everyone's fearful, uncertain, they're doubting things, versus everyone's thinking it's time to party, to the moon, this will go on forever. I like to think about a stock chart as tracking investor sentiment, consensus investor sentiment on a company and nothing else. I'm going to skip ahead. Let's get to the juicy part, Tesla.
$100. It was $299 and change. And when you say what's hot and, Nvidia, are EVs hot anymore? The trend of EVs coupled with intense competition for Tesla. What do you think here? Because this name, let me see, year to date, down 28%.
Down 28% after being up 100% last year, but still lagging because it never really made those all-time highs, making back those losses from 2022. So with Tesla, it's getting looked at more like a car company. And when you think car companies,
that totally makes sense, right? Because Tesla is just a car company. Like, what are they spending that $10 billion on this year? Just car company stuff, right? And the fleet of just cars that are not collecting data, that won't in the future operate as robotaxis with software like revenues. Yeah, definitely just a car company. So I definitely think this is the way to look at Tesla, is more and more just as a car company and only a car company. After all, Tesla doesn't have anything that Toyota doesn't already have, said Craig Irwin, who's a very smart guy. And again, the point here, it's all sentiment driven. It's true. Tesla is being looked at more and more like a car company. Why? Number one question on everyone's minds: gross automotive margins. Extremely short term.
You think Ford, GM, these have been boring stocks that have kind of been stagnant. The real investor, the people that follow Elon Musk, they know him as a visionary and look at the technology behind it and traded it like an AI play. That story has changed because they haven't been delivering. They haven't had the next big thing for Tesla.
Again, story as in sentiment, not reality, but sentiment. I mean, if you guys haven't been keeping up with what's happening with FSD V12, then I can totally understand why you too might think Tesla is just a car company. I cannot wait. You guys have no idea how much I look forward to revisiting these videos. What people are saying, what I was saying a few years from now. I cannot wait.
And then people are concerned. Is Elon Musk worried about too many other things? Is he worried about X? Is he worried about the Boring Company? Is he worried about space? I would never bet against Elon Musk, but right now Tesla has been, it's been missing the ball. It's been dropping the ball, and
Right.
shareholders are just, they're getting out and they're waiting to see when the next opportunity would be to buy, and it just hasn't arisen in the last.
Now, it's true, certainly there are investors getting out of Tesla stock. And again, it's just an incredible decision. I just, once again, market cap Tesla, call it $500 billion today in March 2024. I very much look forward 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, looking back at Tesla's $500 billion market cap and comparing it to where it is at those future points in time. What? Can you see why the average investor just loses money and they are just better off buying an index? If everyone's panicking, it's time to sell. Yes, sell. By the way, shout out to the fuckwits who sold Tesla near $100 a share not long ago. And when a stock's surging, shout out to Nvidia right now. Now's the time to buy after it's gone up 400 quadrillion% in 3 minutes. Is it any wonder the average, quote, investor, aka gambler, loses money trying to invest? This is amazing to see playing out in real time.
Last few months.
Yeah, today's Thursday. Week to date, Tesla's down almost 13%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
It
That's
is.
a lot. That's a big move, particularly when the S&P's at new highs. So that being said, Apple and Tesla, buy, sell, hold. What do you think about these kinds?
Now, I don't know who this dude is. I mean, he was introduced. That's why you do the media. You get introduced as the person from the company you're trying to pump. By the way, not hating. I've done the same stuff myself in the past with my finance business. That's how you play the game. So I wasn't paying attention to who this dude is. But if I were to guess, just taking a stab in the dark here, I could be wrong. We'll find out very soon. My guess would be that he's probably swept up in comparable sentiment. Now, I don't know shit about Apple, so I don't really know what he's going to say there. But my guess about Tesla, he's probably going to suggest hold because it's a bit uncertain. He's a little bit fearful. But it's super cheap, so I mean, you probably wouldn't want to be selling it. But that's my guess at what he's going to say if he's swept up in the same sentiment as many other folks in the industry. Personally, I'm currently filming content for my new OnlyFans to raise more capital to buy more Tesla. I'll put a link in the description as soon as it launches. You sick fucks.
Well,
what do you tell investors?
I believe in Apple for the long term. I don't think this is something investors that have been involved in the stock should worry about. Tesla, that has been a stock that has continued to struggle. That is something I would avoid. I wouldn't put new money to work in Tesla at these levels.
Did I call it or what? I was going to say, can someone set a reminder to check back in? But you know what? Is there an AI that can do that yet? If I can just tell my AI every time, set a reminder, here's a video. I mean, I know I could use a calendar reminder, but just something to automate that a little bit every time I say this in a video. So here we go. Tesla market cap, just over $500 billion. Dude here wouldn't be adding new money right now. Why? Uncertain, fearful, experiencing some doubts. And look, who knows what'll happen. But like I said, I'll be launching my new OnlyFans just to raise more capital to keep buying more Tesla stock. At the same point that folks like this are saying, oh, would it be adding new money here? Okay, sir, whatever you say.
Apple, I think, you can always slowly invest over time and be rewarded. You look at Warren Buffett. Do you think he's panicking right now? I don't think he is. And I know and believe in that product. It has a life cycle that recurs, so they'll be fine. And they always seem to find that next big thing. And they're not involved in AI yet, but watch when they do. I bet you they do it the right way. The car made a story too. They got out of the car business. I don't think many people really believe that Apple had a car up their sleeve. So,
I'm not exactly sure what he's getting at here. Maybe he'll elaborate. I shouldn't interrupt, but I mean, there was over 2,000 people working on the Apple car. And people knew that there was a huge team on this. They'd been recruiting and poaching people from Tesla and all over the place. Like, we knew, at least as investors, we knew that they were working on a car. I wasn't exactly super positive that it would actually ever see the light of day. Well, if it did, if it would be a flop or not. But maybe what he's suggesting is after Apple shit canned the car is not a big deal because no one cared anyway. I don't really understand. Notice, by the way, that he's talking up Apple because they're not really doing AI now, but they will. They'll definitely do some AI stuff in the future, aka that's an opportunity. Meanwhile, Tesla, yeah, I wouldn't be putting any money in here. What AI? Exactly.
We actually rallied on that news and then came back in. So they've got something up their sleeve. What it is, I don't know. I talked to our friend Dan Ives, and he'll let us know. But I do.
What? They've got something up their sleeve. I don't know what it is, but they've got something up their sleeve. Jeez. Okay. Interesting. Sounds a little bit like hope. as opposed to a strategy. But okay, whatever. Again, I mean, he's probably not wrong about Apple over the long term. Can't see the stock long-term collapsing because I can't see the value of the company long-term collapsing because I can't see Apple itself collapsing. But I just don't even.
I do believe in Apple versus Tesla. If I was to pick one or the two, I think Apple's where you want to be.
Yeah, and as far as the car, originally it was going to be a full self-driving car. It wasn't even going to have pedals or a steering wheel. Then it became, sort of partial driving, and now it's nothing. Yeah. But they spent a lot of money and time on that.
Exactly.
So interesting. Okay, thank you on both of those names. Jay Woods, Freedom Capital Markets. Thank you, Jay Woods.
So there you have it. Catalyst for Tesla's 2024 decline summed up, personified in fact, fear, uncertainty, doubt, aka sentiment, not reality, but perceptions. I'll leave it at that. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. Certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, This is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment, see you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.